Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something pretty much every parent runs into at some point. What do you do when your kid insists on having the absolute best gear, but it just doesn't make any practical sense?
So, that quote, that's the breaking point in a standoff between a dad and his 5-year-old son, right in the middle of a sports shop. We're going to dig into how they even got to this point, and, more importantly, how a really clever moment of parenting turned everything around.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at a cricketer's new ego, then the kookaburra conflict. After that, we'll see the man versus the machine showdown, followed by a mother's winning analogy, and we'll wrap it all up with the final takeaway. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with this really proud moment for a little guy named Adi. He's just made the under-6 school cricket team, which is, a huge deal when you're that age. And of course, with a big achievement like that comes a big demand. He says, I need to buy the entire kit and a kookaburra bat. Yep, a very specific brand. And this one little request, born from this new sense of pride, totally sets the stage for that classic showdown between what a kid wants and what a parent thinks is reasonable. So they head to the sports shop, and Adi's dream of getting this fancy top-of-the-line bat, well, it smacks right into a hard wall of reality. Yep, 20,000 rupees. And that's just for the bat, nothing else. You can imagine his dad, Papa, is just stunned.
And to put that number into perspective, check this out. The bat alone costs more than 4 times the rest of the kit combined. We're talking pads, guards, helmet, all the stuff he actually needs to play safely. Wow.
So what's really driving this whole conflict? Well, it's a few things. First, the bat is way too big for a 5-year-old. It's just not practical. Then you've got the shopkeeper who's dropping this genius sales line, no one who uses this bat loses a match. I mean, come on. And on top of it all, Adi's feeling that intense peer pressure, insisting, all my friends have one.
So, what does his dad do? Papa tries to handle this with logic. He thinks, I'll just reason with him. But, as you're about to see, that approach leads to a total dead end, a complete stalemate.
His dad's argument is this classic life lesson, right? It's never about the machine, it's always about the man behind the machine. I mean, it's a fantastic piece of wisdom for an adult. But for a 5-year-old who just wants a cool bat, it's way too abstract. It just goes right over his head. And Adi, he's not hearing any of that logic. From his point of view, his dad saying no isn't about money or a life lesson. He hears it as, I don't believe in you. He literally thinks his dad doesn't want him to win and wants to embarrass him.
And this right here, this is the heart of the problem. They are having two completely different conversations. Dad is talking logic, principles, practicality. Abadi is talking emotion, fitting in, and what he thinks he needs to feel like a winner. They're just not on the same wavelength at all.
So, what's the result? Well, Dad's logical approach totally fails. He buys a perfectly good, less expensive kit, and Adi just storms off to his room he won't even play. So not only did logic not work, it actually made things worse.
Okay, so Papa's logic-based approach was a bust. Now Mama, the mother, steps in, and she has a totally different game plan. A much, much smarter one, it turns out. She finds Adi in his room, and he's doing his homework. And she asks him this super simple, really clever question. She just says, is it the pencil which is writing, or you? Notice, she's not talking about cricket at all. She's meeting him right where he is in his own little world.
And Adi, well, he answers right away, super confident, it's me. How can a pencil write? Of course, right? It's obvious to him. He has no idea he's just walked right into her brilliant little trap.
And then Mama delivers the final blow. Then why is it different for a bat? And boom, that's it. In that one simple question, that whole big abstract man versus machine idea that his dad was talking about, it suddenly clicks. It becomes crystal clear, and he totally gets it. So let's break down why this worked so well. Papa's analogy, man versus the machine, was huge and abstract. Adi couldn't connect with it. But Mama's analogy, writer versus the pencil, it was personal, it was concrete, and it was happening to him right now. He could understand it instantly because he was living it.
Okay, so the way this whole thing gets resolved gives us a really powerful, really practical playbook for any parent or, heck, any teacher. Really, anyone who's trying to get a complicated idea across to someone. You can actually break Mama's success down into these 4 steps. First, she met him in his world. Second, she used a super relatable concrete analogy. Third, that shifted the focus from the tool to his skill. And finally, she empowered him to see the bigger picture. It's all about connection, not just winning the argument. And you can see the lesson really hit home with this next question Audie asks his mom. He says, "Are we poor, Mama?" I mean, think about that shift. He's gone from, "I need the best bat to win," to thinking about value, about money, and about his family's situation. That's a huge leap in perspective. And Mama's final move is just perfect. Instead of just answering him, she asks him to answer his own question. She empowers him to think for himself. She's not just giving him information, she's respecting his intelligence and letting him figure it out, which makes the lesson stick for good. It's just a beautiful, gentle way to wrap it all up. So when you boil it all down, what are the big takeaways here? Well, for one, an effective analogy has to be tailored to the person you're talking to. And when logic just isn't cutting it against strong emotions, a relatable story can be your best friend. It's not about the price of the tool, it's about the value of the skill. And maybe most importantly, real teaching isn't about winning an argument, it's about helping someone see a different perspective. So that leaves us with this final thought, this final question to chew on. Are you teaching this skill, or are you just buying the equipment? And that's a question that goes way beyond sports, doesn't it? It applies to pretty much any area where we want our kids, or hey, even ourselves, to really truly grow.